I love this so much. Hey everybody, it's your girl Rosalie. Welcome to the Ultimate World Music Reaction channel, all about music and psychology from all around the world. Welcome to the new space. I'm trying out something different in various ways, so let me know what you think below. What's the audio like? What's the video quality like? Welcome to another part of my studio. Enjoy as you look around and get insight into a little bit of my world. I have all kinds of things for you over the next several days, and I'm really excited because I get anxious when I'm behind on either requests or videos. I love bringing you guys content. Make sure to subscribe. Make sure to check out my second channel, RR Requests. It's my Rosalie Requests channel where I put requests I receive from Patreon and Buy Me a Coffee, or where I try to spotlight artists that are up and coming. Go check it out. Today, we are going to dive straight in without further ado. I got a few more requests to get through, and then I will be opening up the request option on Buy Me a Coffee again. And patrons also get quarterly requests. So check it out if you want to get connected, if you want to support. Thank you so much to my supporters. You guys make it possible for me to keep doing this and to bring you more videos. I'm honored that you're here. Okay, today I'm bringing you something very special. A young lady named Lindsey Stirling. You may have heard of her. She is from California, Santa Ana, California. And I want to check out her song, Shatter Me. She is a violinist and very unique in that she dances as she's playing the violin and just super talented. I've seen some of her stuff. I may have even heard Shatter Me, but I'm not 100% sure. And today's shout out goes to insert Woody name here. Likes to stay anonymous, but insert whatever Woody name comes to mind. And thank you for your patience with this request. This song was put out 9 years ago, has 138 million views, and it's special because it's featuring Lzzy, Hale. So we're going to check out the official video together. Are you ready? A 138 million views.
I pirouette in the dark. I see the stars through me. Tired mechanical heart beat till the song disappears.
I'll rewind. I'll start over. Note this. So I've heard Lzzy Hale when she was singing with The Who. Check that out in my Mongolia playlist. Awesome song, the woman's song for women. And again, I know Lindsey and some of her work. I'm not too familiar with most of her stuff. And to be honest, even just hearing the first few notes now, I'm like, I don't know if I have. There's snippets of this that I may have seen. Right, this idea of Lindsey as that little turn up violinist in like a little ballerina, right? Like those clocks, those lullaby things you can turn up for the music to play as they spin around. So there's elements of the cinematography here that feel familiar, but the song does not sound familiar. And we'll talk about the lyrics and everything else after. But what I really love here is that while there's a big focus on vocals and lyrics because of Lzzy Hale and what she's singing, the big focus here also is Lindsey's amazing talent with the violin and the way that she uses this instrument to showcase her skill. But it's beyond just talent. It's beyond, well, there's a lot of skill, a lot of training and years of work and refining her art, but it's beyond to me just a showcase of somebody's ability. And it's this performance of art, this demonstration of someone who has a deep connection, as weird as that might sound, with their instrument, with their tool. In her case, the violin is more than just some instrument. It's a tool, but it's an instrument that sends a message across, that conveys emotion. That's why I love looking into the psychology of how it makes us feel what we're experiencing. So focus on that a little bit if you can. If you need to, close your eyes and just savor it. We'll start over. almost like waking up, cranking something up, bringing it to life.
I pirouette in the dark. I see the stars through me. Tired mechanical heart beat till the song disappears. Somebody shine a light. I'm frozen by the fear in me. Somebody make me feel alive and shatter me. So cut me from the line. Dizzy spinning endlessly. Somebody make me feel alive and shatter me. Somebody make me feel alive and shatter me. If only the clockwork could speak, I wouldn't be so alone.
Wow. Yo, the beat here goes hard, and I love how they're bringing in some of that Skrillex and dubstep vibe. Definitely relevant to the time, at the time, and still, I love me some good EDM. But I don't want to get distracted. Let's keep listening. That rasp and that cry and plea as Lizzy's singing. Oh my gosh, those notes she's hitting so high with such force, but still that rasp, that scream. Powerful transitioning from the softer notes to that scream. And I love how Lindsey dances as she plays. It's phenomenal. I feel like that's one of her signature things, how she just really plays with and dances and yeah, again, performing, showcasing. I don't even like those words for this. Sharing her art. It's phenomenal.
We'd burn every magnet in spring
Love the harmonies.
and spiral into the unknown. Somebody shine a light. I'm frozen by the fear in me. Somebody make me feel alive and shatter me. So cut me from the line. Dizzy spinning endlessly. Somebody make me feel alive and shatter me. Somebody make me feel alive and shatter me. If I break the glass, then I'll have to fly. There's no one to catch me if I take a dive. I'm scared of change and the days stay the same. The world is spinning but only gray. If I break the glass, then I'll have to fly. There's no one to catch me if I take a dive. I'm scared of change and the days stay the same. The world is spinning but only gray.
Wow. These lyrics. Oh, we got stuff to talk about.
Somebody shine a light. I'm frozen by the fear in me. Somebody make me feel alive and shatter me. So cut me from the line. Dizzy spinning endlessly.
love this so much. Oh, there's something in me that wants to cry. Oh my gosh, the emotion here. Okay, before we dive into the lyrics, do not go. You have to listen to this. I think if you like this and you clicked this, the thumbnail, or you saw the title of this video because you're like, oh, I love Lindsey, I want to see what this chick has to say, or you already know me, you're like, whatever, let's just see what else Rosalie is exploring. Listen, listen, Linda, listen. This, you guys, there's so much to talk about, but please don't shut off. Here's what I want you to take away before you go. If you are feeling caged in any way, depressed, downcast, like you are in that glass bubble longing to break free. Okay, we'll talk about the video and the lyrics in a second, but I think we can get that vibe here, right? If you feel like you're running out of time, you feel like you're just going through the motion like clockwork, you're tired of the mundane, weary of the day to day, whatever it is, if there's something that's holding you down and you're having a hard time today, play this as loud as you can in your headphones, blast it in your kitchen, listen to it on the toilet, I don't care. Play it and experience it. Let it just here. I sometimes I think we can learn so much from children and how they don't care and how they're so much more free than adults. There's something so therapeutic about putting on music and blasting it and just dancing. You don't have to be a good dancer, you don't have to be able to sing. Scream at the top of your lungs. It's okay if you sound like a dying donkey. just just experience it. Allow yourself to get lost in this dance, headbang, twirl, do ballet moves if that's what you're into, whatever you want to do. Let that stress out, let that pain and the frustration out, break out of your own box, shatter your own cage, and just blast this. I promise you. Well, I don't want to promise anything because some of y'all will come after me in the comment section. It didn't work, but I would like to encourage you to try it. Just give it a try. See what happens. The video was awesome. Cinematography phenomenal. It makes sense that this has been viewed 138 times. But I feel like it should have so much more because this is therapeutic. You know, we're all about music from around the world and psychology. Lindsey specifically here is, as I mentioned, from the States, American violinist, born 86. She's a songwriter, she's a dancer, and she has these choreographed violin performances, which is amazing. I see here a note, and I did not know that she has also spoken about her battle with anorexia. And she discovered her disorder while she was working with troubled girls at a center, a treatment center for troubled girls. And wow, I did not know that. She told the interviewer on Good Morning America that the song Shatter Me, the one we just listened to, was actually about her story of overcoming her eating disorder. Wow. Shoo, now I'm gonna cry. Wow, I did not know that. So this song in general is powerful because I think many of us can relate to that feeling of feeling caged. It could be depression, it could be anxiety, some other mental disorder, personality disorder, it could be a physical ailment, it could be relational, right? When you're going through separation or divorce, when you've lost a child or a loved one, when you're just going through day to day where you feel stuck. I've said this in some of my other videos, but I think there are a lot of things that trigger our existential fears and our death anxieties, and we don't even realize it. Lately, I've been very interested in existential therapy, and there's different existential therapies, if you will. Different people interpret the idea of existentialism in different ways. I specifically have been very inspired by Dr. Yalom's work, who is psychotherapist, a psychologist, and though I don't agree with all of his conclusions per se or all of his beliefs, which he doesn't force on anyone, he just shares his worldview. A lot of the things he says are to me very profound and powerful and meaningful, especially in regards to dealing with our death anxieties and our existential fears and the things he proposes as a remedy to find peace. Now, some of you who are not afraid of death or don't have any existential crises, I've never experienced that. You might be like, that doesn't apply to me, whatever, bye. Listen, a lot of us will have struggles in life. And according to Dr. Yalom and people who are interested in that type of work, the theory would be that underneath a lot of those troubles is existential fear, right? So someone could have a lot of anxiety, serial dating, jumping from one relationship to another, having a hard time committing. Someone could have a lot of struggle with their career choices. Another person could have a lot of nightmares. Others could be going through a lot of marital issues. It could be things that on the surface level seem like this has nothing to do with death anxiety, right? But according to these theories, the idea would be that underneath a lot of that, not always, there's different causes and different effects for things and different reasons why we have certain symptoms in life. But the idea would be that behind a lot of that is existential fear. We want to be seen, we want to belong, we want our life to matter. And so a lot of issues we have, a lot of fear we have. And I've heard that said also underneath everything is either fear or love. A lot of fear that drives what we do, our core fears and desires, they impact how we respond to the world around us, how we react, how things affect us. And we live in a world where we are being overstimulated, news left and right, doom and gloom. If you're watching this right now, you're familiar with social media and videos and technology to a degree, more or less. And so a lot of the things we struggle with underneath, I think, is that death anxiety, that fear of what am I doing with my life? What am I doing and who am I and where do I belong? And so this song, Shatter Me, this desire to be shattered, this desire to break free from something, doesn't just apply to, as she shared, according to this, in regards to her struggle with this eating disorder, but it goes for anything where you feel like you have been caged. It could be just simply being weary of day-to-day life. I don't know if you've ever had that, but there's been times where I was just, and it's a first world problem, I know, but there would be times I'd be exhausted from just having to cook again, having to do the daily things again, and feeling anxious at the thought that I will have to do this every day. Now a first world problem, because what a blessing that we have food that we can eat. Many people don't know where their food will come from, and that's a whole different anxiety and struggle to deal with. But sometimes people may experience anxiety about such things, the day-to-day, the mundane, the going through the motion, feeling stuck at a 9 to 5, feeling like you're missing out on your purpose and being triggered in anxiety and fear because it's like, I have only so much time left. I'm 30, 40, 50, 60. My time's running out. What have I done with my life, right? It could be triggered by relational issues, as I mentioned, personality disorders, mental struggles. There's a lot that in life, when we come face to face with it, can trigger those fears and can trigger this feeling of, I feel stuck. I feel in a rut, controlled by the clock, which is something very powerful here symbolically to me in the music video, because clockwork to me also represents time, and the time is an illusion. This idea that we've created time, day and night, and hours in a day, we've created that for order, for organization, to be able to communicate plans and schedules, right? There was a time we didn't have clocks and we used sand, and then there was a time we used the sun to figure out where in the day we were. But this idea of time has come to be something that consumes us now, and the more we have, the more we chase, the more we want, the more time seems to run by. And that's all we have. At the end of the day, that's all we have is time. And time's running out. So this symbolism behind a clock and something working like clockwork to me is interesting and fascinating in regards to life and death and existential questions. Then it also is interesting because it's this wind up clockwork that was allowing this ballerina to spin. As mentioned, we know those little lullaby machines, antique, beautiful, you find them newer, older versions, oftentimes a little ballerina dancing inside with music spinning around. And that too is symbolic in regards to going through the motions, spinning in circles, being stuck on a rut. Here specifically, since this for Lzzy is about an eating disorder, I think this idea of being stuck in something and going in circles is relatable to those of us who have experienced disorders, who have experienced addiction, or have experienced family going through addiction. There's this cyclical, there's something, it's beyond just being stuck in a ball of glass and caged in. It's also the cyclical idea that it can become so disheartening. It gets you dizzy, literally, makes you sick. And she's dancing so beautifully. It's amazing how she is able to, choreograph her dance moves, Lindsey, with the way that her head was moving, in a stagnant motion as a doll would, dancing beautiful ballet moves. I mean, you can see she's a dancer, phenomenal. And Lzzy Hale, again, her scream singing, the rasp, just how skilled she is as a vocalist, these high notes she's sharing with us in such a powerful way, fitting to and complemented the violin so beautifully. The elegance and the femininity, to me, of the violin complemented that rasp and that aggression, not in a negative way aggression, but passion that Lzzy was bringing with her vocals, fitting. And that phrase, shatter me, is fitting, is familiar to me, as well as some of the chord progressions of the of the instrumentalization with the violin. It's familiar to me, but I don't think I've ever listened to this whole thing or seen this whole thing, and it was such a treat. The lyrics, you guys. Oh, yes. I want to go from one category to the next. Speaking of their vocal and musical performance, so skilled. Speaking of the music video, being in that glass, breaking against it, seeing the butterfly. When the butterfly first flew towards the glass, it almost looked like something like a bat or something to me. And I'm like, oh wow, it looks like possible danger. Maybe it wasn't meant to look like that. Maybe I just missaw for a moment. But it would be interesting to have it look that way because, sometimes we feel safe in that glass bubble that we've built for ourselves. Sometimes, even though we want to be free and we want to be shattered and we're looking to feel alive again, we're also afraid of stepping out. It will take something breaking. And in our society, things that are broken are often looked down on. That goes for objects. They're secondhand, they're of lesser value, understandably so to a degree, right? But they're also looked down on in the sense of if you want the newest and the greatest, you're looking for brands, you're looking for brand new with the tag on it, right? Now, of course, there's many of us who love to thrift and secondhand stores, and we can see the value. Some who are very good at recognizing value where others would overlook it because it's used. But when it comes to human beings, I think we have adapted that same mindset. We think, oh, we're used, we're broken, something went wrong in our life, right? There was divorce, there was death, the career change, lost love, with different things where we look back, again, existential fears, in my opinion. We look back and we go, wow, how did I get here? My life wasn't supposed to go this way. And it feels scary because you can't ever get that back. And you desperately try to just restore your story and find a way to have a life from here on out because that's all we have now. Can't change the past, don't know the future. But it's easier said than done. It's easy to say, well, the present is your gift, be present. Yeah, but in the here and now, we still have to do our work. We still have to pay the bills. We still have our day to day struggles and our emotional distress and our desire to be seen and loved. And with that idea of things breaking, again, it will cost work. It will require things to break. But when we think of brokenness, as I mentioned with the objects, when we take that on ourselves, we also think we're less than if we're broken and used. If we're hurting, we think we're of lesser value. And society will teach that. The media will teach that, right? For men, a lot of times it's you're only as worth as much as you make. Dax in his song To Be a Man showcased that and gave us great insight on the world of men, and many men agreed with that. And that needs to be heard. It's very strenuous and must be very disheartening to feel like you are not seen, you're not listened to, you don't really matter. Your feelings are not as important. It's almost weird if you're too emotional. But if you have money and if you can provide, right, you can land a decent woman. For women, there's often this pressure when it comes to youth, right? We learn that men prefer youth and virginity and beauty, but entropy and life and gravity is working against that when it comes to youth, right? We're aging, we're getting older. So there's this pressure in different ways for different people. So that looked, at first, before I saw it was a butterfly, looked almost like something more scary to me, like a bat or something that is not as elegant and beautiful as we would associate with a butterfly. And then it turned out it was a butterfly, right? And Lindsey in this glass looking out, longing to be out there. And in the end, free the broken items that were in that turn up ballerina machine, all laying on the ground, shattered, and her free in nature, right? Color. It went from gray to color. And even Lzzy being in that building where she was churning up the clock, where she was churning up this merry-go-round, things just shattering and breaking free. The lyrics, powerful too. I pirouette in the dark, ballerina language. See the stars through a mirror. Imagine that, when you can only see something through a reflection. Tired, and that's interesting, by the way, because there is a verse that says, I see in a reflection now, and then one day I will see face to face. I'm paraphrasing in my own words. But it's this idea of it's all just a reflection right now. And for those who have faith in more after death, right, there's comfort in that idea that everything I know now is just kind of partial, but then I'll understand fully. There's that hope and that idea of I will know one day. For those who don't believe that, right, they maybe don't have that comfort and they find comfort in other thoughts and beliefs. But matter of the fact is we don't know everything, and a lot of things do feel like a reflection. We try to know, we hope to know, but truth is hard to come by. I see the stars through a mirror. Tired mechanical heart beats till the song disappears. If that doesn't tap into just existential life and death, beyond the here and now struggles we face, though all the different things and more that I listed earlier, it really to me matches this idea of existential fears, being tired, being weary. But it also works well when you're talking about eating disorders and mental disorders and relational struggles and physical ailments, right? You get tired, it feels mechanical, you're going through the motions. It's not alive, it's not a real beating heart. And the song, disappears. Just like the song in the music video started, she was winding it up. And that's when Lindsey Stirling came to life, if you will, and started playing. And Lzzy had gotten up from bed to turn up the clock, wind it all up. Almost like when the song's over, it goes back to going to sleep, being back to being paralyzed, pirouetting in the dark. But in this case, it ended with her being free. Somebody shine a light. I'm frozen by the fear in me. Have you ever felt that way, frozen by fear? Somebody make me feel alive and shatter me. So cut me from the line, dizzy, spinning endlessly. Somebody make me feel alive and shatter me. Powerful, because the idea of asking someone to shatter you, usually we would not like that, right? Most people don't go around saying, hey, shatter me, break my heart. But when you don't feel alive, sometimes that type of pain will be beneficial because now you can feel again, now you can breathe again, and things go from gray to light. If only the clockwork could speak, I wouldn't be so alone. Being alone with the clockwork, alone with time. It's just you and that cycle, pirouetting and going in circles. We burn every magnet and spring and spiral into the unknown. Powerful way to send such a powerful message that is personal to her but relatable to all of us in our own way, applicable for all of us, but also so many key words that fit to the idea of a ballerina and a dancer and clockwork and the springs and the magnet. And then it goes back to the chorus. That drop was amazing. If I break the glass, I'll have to fly. There's no one to catch me if I take a dive. And that too is scary. Taking that dive, allowing yourself to break free, not knowing what's going to happen. Who's going to catch me? I'm scared of changing. The days stay the same. I was just saying that, right? We're afraid of change because it gives us a sense of security. But if that security is founded in fear, it's not true security. If you are staying stuck where you are because of fear that no one will catch you if you take that leap, you're not free and you're not really secure. And I'm talking about taking a leap into life, by the way, okay? I want you to hear me here because some people hear that, oh, take a leap, do it, jump, and they will jump into things that were not right for them. They'll just do it out of emotions or, oh, this is the confirmation I was looking for. But it's important that what we choose brings life in what we say and how we act and how we treat our children and our spouses and what we choose, right? Choose life in everything you do because that's what we were created for, to live life. And it's short and it's beautiful. Cherish it. Do something with it. The world is spinning, but only in gray. If I break the glass, I'll have to fly. No one to catch me if I dive. And so cool was an understatement. Powerful how the lyrics talk about gray and spinning, and in the end, she's free surrounded by nature, colors, everything just has come to life. And then in the end, it as tags again, shatter me, somebody make me feel alive and shatter me. Dude, this song was phenomenal. I said a lot. You let me know what you think in the comments below. As always, like, share, subscribe, and I'll see you on the next ride. Ayo!